Hi everybody, how's it going? So this is our final video on 12.4. So we're doing applications of linear equations. We did these earlier in the chapter. So remember, a system of linear equations is where you have two equations and you can solve them using a bunch of different methods, elimination, substitution. Again, you can do it graphically, theoretically, even though I don't recommend that. So we're gonna do some application problems, right? Real world, word problems, everyone's favorite. So again, when you do a word problem, you gotta read it, you gotta read it, you gotta read it. You got to come up with variables, you got to set these variables and make some decisions, and sometimes it can be tedious, sometimes easier. So let's go through and see if we can do some. So problem number one, let's see. There were 3 large pizzas bought and 2 orders of garlic bread for $26.75. Okay, somebody else bought 4 large pizzas and 4 orders of garlic bread for $39. Find the cost of each pizza and the cost of each garlic bread. Okay, so we got a lot of information here, so we need to make some variables. I'm gonna call them X. So I'm gonna X be the cost of 1 pizza, right? So X cost of 1 pizza. And I'm gonna let Y be the cost of 1 garlic bread. All right, so let's write a system of equations. So we know that they bought 3 pizzas and 2 garlic breads. So 3 pizzas, we don't know how much they cost, plus 2 garlic breads. We don't know how much they cost, but we knew they spent $26.75. Let's see, then they bought 4 pizzas and 4 garlic breads. So 4 pizzas plus 4 garlic bread, and they spent $39. All right, so we have a system of equations. This is actually called a 2x2 system, right? Because we have 2 linear variables, right? 2 equations. You know me, I like the good old elimination method, so that's what I'm going to use. To me, it looks like these y's are going to be easiest to eliminate. So I'm going to multiply the top by -2, right? So that's going to become, let me grab my calculator because I'm going to need to multiply 26.75 by -2. So this becomes -6x minus 4y equals, let's see, 26.75 times -2, -53.50. I'm going to add those straight down. These cancel. That's the whole point of that, right? I get -2x equals, let's see, 39, -14.50, and divide by -2. Each pizza cost $7.25. That's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Stuff we've done in class a lot of times. Now we have to plug it back in to find how much each garlic bread costs. So again, I can pick either equation. I'm going to pick this top one right here. So this becomes 3 times 7.25 plus 2y equals 26.75. Remember, you can plug it into either equation. It's up to you. All right, multiply that by 3. That becomes 21.75 plus 2y equals 26.75. Subtract my 21.75 from both sides. I think I can do that one easy. 2y equals 5, so y equals 250. So each pizza is $7.25 and each garlic bread is $2.50. So pretty straightforward. Again, you're going to set a system of equations. You're going to work through solving it using whatever method you want. Again, the substitution or elimination method, and go from there. All right, let's look at another one. See what it looks like. Okay, this is a good one. So this problem seems like it's worded differently, right? It seems very confusing the way they word this, but it's really the same idea, a system of equations, all right? So if we look at it, they borrowed $34,000 on 2 different loans. So they have 2 different loans, 2 different loan amounts, right? They borrowed $34,000 to purchase a fishing boat. One loan charges 5% simple interest and the other loan charges 7% simple interest. Total interest is $19.50 a year. Find the amount borrowed at each rate, right? So again, it seems a little bit confusing, right? Once again, I'm going to come up with some variables. I'm going to let X be the amount of money that I borrowed at 5% interest. And I'm going to let Y be the amount of money at 7% interest. we know that these two numbers add up to $3,400, right? The amount of money borrowed plus the amount of money borrowed should be the total boat cost. We also know how to calculate simple interest. So in case you don't remember how to calculate simple interest, all right, simple interest is going to be how much you paid times the interest rate. This is how much you're going to owe. All right, this is going to be your interest. All right. Now you got to be careful. The interest rate has to be written as a decimal. So if she borrowed X at 5%, we know that 0.05X, that's how much interest she pays on the X amount, plus 0.07Y, that's how much interest she pays at the Y amount. Her total interest she paid was $19.50. I'm going to bring this other equation down here. So here is our system of equations. Now, of course, you could use the elimination method. That'll work fine. The problem is most students are not going to like the elimination method with decimals. So on this one, I actually suggest you use the substitution method. In fact, why don't you pause the video, take a few minutes, see if you can solve this using the substitution method. I'll continue working the problem. We'll see if we get the same answer. So go ahead and pause it now. Okay, so let's work the problem. So remember, on the substitution method, you have to solve for one of the variables. I'm going to pick X down here. It doesn't really matter. X equals 3,400 minus Y. And I'm going to take this information for X and I'm going to plug it in right there. So this becomes 0.05 times 34,000 minus Y plus 0.07Y equals 1950. Of course, we want to distribute. So distribute that into there, distribute that into there. Let's see. 0.5 of 34,000. So 34,000 times 0.05. So I get 1,700. 1,700 minus 0.05y plus 0.07y equals 1950. These are like terms, so I can combine them. 1,700 plus 0.02y equals 1950. Subtract the 1,700. 0.02y equals, let's see, 1,700 and 1950 equals positive 250, whoop, and divide by 0.02. So it turns out 12,500 is the answer for Y. And remember what Y represented. That's how much money they borrowed at the 7% interest. The easiest way to find the other one is realize both these things add up to 34,000. So I'm going to take that and actually plug it in right there. So I know X equals 34,000 minus 12,500. So it looks like they borrowed 21,500 at the 5%. And this is what they borrowed at 7%. So again, you're writing a system of equations. You're solving that system using whatever method. The first one, we use the elimination method. The second one, we use the substitution method, right? You have another problem, very similar, right? Very similar problem. So you have more that you can check, right? All of these are very similar setup problems to solve these systems. In class next week, we'll go over some more of these if we need to, and hopefully have a good. Oh no, I'll see you before Thanksgiving. So hopefully you had a good weekend before Thanksgiving. All right, see you.